Mukam karoti vachalam, pangum lange tegirim, yet kripam tamham vande, Paramananda Madhavam. The Gita says that with the grace of the Lord, the handicapped can walk and the ignorant can be bestowed with knowledge. On that note, we welcome you all for today's morning program.
A very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to one and all for the International Oral and Maxillofacial Surgeons Day. We extend a very warm welcome to our virtual audience because our program is going live all across the world. And for this very special event, we welcome our chief guests, our guest of honor, speakers of the scientific session, President and Honorary General Secretary of AOMSI, all the state AOMSI president and secretaries, all the national and state executive members, all HODs of dental and medical colleges, all the association members, Indian Dental Council members, Indian Medical Association members, members from the associations of otolaryngology, Neurological Surgical Society of India, Indian Prosthodontic Society, All India Ophthalmologic Society, and Association of Plastic Surgeons of India.
We also welcome the distinguished guests of the dais, Dr. Manoj Kumar, Dr. Kumar Swami SV Sir. We once again extend a very warm welcome to all the participants online and offline from across the globe who have joined us to celebrate the International Oral and Maxillofacial Surgeons Day on this beautiful Sunday morning.
I, Dr. Sri Gauri.
And I am Dr. Sai Swaroop, and we are honored to be presenting today's event. And this event is going live on omfs.a1logics.live. We begin today's formal inauguration of the International Oral and Maxillofacial Surgeons Day. We request the Honorable Executive Committee members to kindly escort the dignitaries on the dais. May we request the General Secretary, the Honorable General Secretary of the AOMSI to kindly escort Dr. Paul Salins, sir. The President of AOMSI, Dr. Manjunath Rai, sir, if you could escort the guest of honor today, Dr. Nagesh, sir. Dr. Prithvi Balekar, sir, if you could escort Mrs. Revati Kamath. Can we ask Dr. Utkarsh, sir, to escort Dr. Deepak Haldikur? Dr. Prithvi, sir, if you could escort Dr. Nagaraju, sir. May I now request the Honorable General Secretary of AOMSI, Dr. Girish Rai, to kindly follow the President of AOMSI, Dr. Manjunath Rai. Thank you, sir. We would like to begin the program by seeking blessings of the Almighty. Dr. Sri Gauri would render the invocation song.
Bhujagabhushana Vignamadasamajake Panchanana Maheshwara Putra Shubhagatra Sujana Palaka Varavinayaka Bhajisi Pujisi Namisi Nuti Suve Nijamati Anuyenagitu Rakshisu Nammana Navarata.
Thank you, Dr. Sri Gauri, for that melodious rendering. Asatoma Sadgamaya, Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. From darkness to light and from ignorance to knowledge, let's all take steps in the direction of light and knowledge. May I now request the dignitaries on the dais to proceed towards lighting of the lamp to formally inaugurate the function.
Thank you very much to all the dignitaries on the dais. The nation has witnessed unprecedented mayhem in the wake of COVID-19, and we continue to bear the wrath. With the timely intervention and praiseworthy vaccination program brought about by the government, we have succeeded in sailing through the wrath of the pandemic. The healthcare workers have stood tall against these challenges and have offered themselves to fight this pandemic. This pandemic saw an endemic situation in the form of black fungus in the second wave.
Across the country, the Indian Council of Medical Research Statistics reveals a total of 48,845 cases who were collectively managed by oral and maxillofacial surgeons, the otorhinolaryngologist, the ophthalmologist, neurosurgeons, and physicians. Now, we stare at a Herculean task of rehabilitating these patients who otherwise stare a lifetime of consequences that include compromised phonetics, swallowing, chewing, nasal regurgitation, nasal twang in their voice, and facial deformities. These conditions not only affect the quality of their life, but also their morale and dignity of life. In our preliminary survey, we have identified more than 25,000 such patients who require our services.
Thus, we decided to theme our Maxillofacial Surgeons Day of this year for mucormycosis and dedicate ourselves to the service of these needy patients. The theme of this year is Metamorphosis of Face, Combating Mucomycosis and Transforming Lives. This brings to light the various options to reconstruct and rehabilitate the affected patients.
We now invite the Honorable General Secretary of AOMSI, Dr. Girish Rao, to kindly welcome the gathering and give an overview of the mucormycosis.
A very good morning to all of you. Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. February 13th is celebrated as the International Oral and Maxillofacial Surgery Day. There is a story behind why we started this Oral and Maxillofacial Surgery Day. Just about a decade ago, in 2012, Dr. Neelam Andrade was the president of the AMSI, and my dear friend, Dr. Manjunath Rai, who is currently the president, was the honorary general secretary. Both of them introduced the Oral and Maxillofacial Surgery Day to showcase what a beautiful specialty of oral and maxillofacial surgery is serving humankind. Looking at this, the International Association of Oral and Maxillofacial Surgery, or Oral and Maxillofacial Surgeons, took it up, and in 2015, they declared that all over the world, February 13th is going to be celebrated as the International Oral and Maxillofacial Surgery Day. It makes us so proud that Make in India is going everywhere today. I remember when I was a budding or just a young maxillofacial surgeon, this is almost about 10 years or 32 years back in Chennai in the government dental college. At that point of time, oral and maxillofacial surgery was probably simple dentoalveolar work, a bit of trauma, a bit of oncology, what we're doing. In a span of 10 or 15 years, there was a sea of change which happened in our specialty. Our specialty really took up a lot of challenges. A number of young graduates went abroad, trained, came back, and started training a lot of other youngsters, and that made a huge change. One of them, I would say, is the most dynamic maxillofacial surgeons in the country, and that's Professor Paul Salins. He was the source of inspiration for a number of graduates all over the country to take oral surgery into maxillofacial surgery and probably craniofacial surgery today. And it gives me immense pleasure today that we as a specialty is celebrating with pride all over the country. To welcome today's program, we have a number of dignitaries who are there today, both offline and online, to celebrate our specialties' success, I would say. We have the Honorable Health Minister, Dr. Sudhakar, who is a doctor by himself. He is spearheading the entire COVID project in Karnataka and has done immense work in managing these kind of scenarios which ravaged the entire nation in Karnataka. With his busy schedule, unfortunately, he is not with us physically, but he is there virtually, and we welcome you, sir, for this event. Our Bangalore South MP, Mr. Tejasvi Surya, a dynamic leader, a statesman par excellence, he has also led the forces at the ground level and contributed significantly to help a lot of patients who have been ravaged with COVID-19 in the last 2 years. He was supposed to be there in the morning, but then had to go urgently to Delhi. And he also is there virtually with us. Sir, we welcome you for this program. I take this opportunity to welcome the guest of honor, Dr. Paul Salins. Dr. Paul is a maxillofacial surgeon par excellence. He is the Senior Vice President and Medical Director of Kiran Mazumdar Shah Institute in the Narayan Hridayalaya complex and is spearheading the entire oncology project there. It is such an honor that he is with us today. He has been the source of inspiration for all of us, not only is he just a maxillofacial surgeon, if I have to talk about Paul, there's so many things behind him. He's also heading the India Innovation Center by the Government of India, the DST department. He is also a phenomenally good artist. And if you go to Narayan Hrudalaya and you see all the paintings there, probably he has more than about 300 paintings in every room of Narayan Hrudalaya. He is a professional chef too, and his culinary skills is just amazing. I mean, the way in which he has details for everything. It's not just surgery. I mean, you know, the residents who have worked with Paul knows what perfection is. Even the blend of taste and what you are served has to be to that perfection. The flavor has to be good. The taste has to be good. And that's something which I enjoyed when I was in UK. And when he toured around with, you know, we both went around, the details to which he would comment. He's an excellent organ player. I mean, there are so many things you can talk about Paul. And also a fashion designer. In Paris, most of the fashion shows, the dresses are all designed by our Paul Salad. So there is so much to talk about Paul. And that's something which inspires all of us. Thank you, Paul, for being with us. Such a great honor. In fact, he was the one who inspired me to go to UK in the Harvard conference of AMSI. And that's when we all decided that we can look up to people like Paul and take our profession to greater heights. I have another guru of mine who's sitting here, Dr. Nagesh. Dr. Nagesh doesn't require any introduction. He was the Dean and Director of RV Dental College, you know, the founder, principal of that college. He was also the Director of Public Health at the Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Sciences. In fact, almost every position in Rajiv Gandhi University he has had, and led dentistry to what it is today in Karnataka. He was awarded the Karnataka Rajyotsava Award, and also has got the Doctor of Science from the Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Sciences. A human being par excellence, a simple person who oozes out so much of knowledge, so much of love. Thank you very much, sir, for being with us, and welcome to this wonderful program here. The next guest of honor is another very, very dynamic lady, Mrs. Revati Kamath. When we say Bangalore is green, the weather is perfect, it's people like Madam who are contributing to make our environment so beautiful. She's an environmentalist, a Vidwan in Veena, landscape artist, and more than anything, a superb philanthropist. During the first and second wave, they donated more than 100 ambulances for COVID. She ran almost about 500 ambulances throughout the second wave, completely in Bangalore, and has helped countless patients in our city, in our state, in our nation, to really rehabilitate such kind of patients. Madam, we are indeed privileged that you are amongst us. Thank you very much for being with us, and welcome to our program here. When we thought of doing this program, Dr. Manjunath Rai and myself, we were discussing what could be the theme. And COVID is something which has ravaged the entire country. And during the second wave, mucormycosis, unfortunately, this is the only country where this many number of cases affected all of us. ICMR statistics shows that there were 40,000 mucormycosis cases. In my career of 32 years, before COVID, I'd probably seen only about 4 or 5. right? And the medical specialty and the dental specialty stood tall, sacrificing a lot of unfortunate doctors lost their lives during this time. And we felt there are still at least about 25,000 patients who are mutilated with mucormycosis. They need desperately a reconstruction and rehabilitation. And that's where we felt it is absolutely important that we have a multimodality kind of treatment for this reconstruction and rehabilitation. And that's why we have a symposium after this inaugural function. When we talk about multidisciplinary approach, there are hundreds and thousands of surgeons, physicians, dentists, and dental specialists who have contributed for this. And someone really tall in ENT circle is my dear, dear friend, Dr. Deepak Haldipur. He and his team, in fact, we as maxillofacial surgeons are also very closely associated with his team. At Trustwell Hospital, where he is one of the founder directors, has spearheaded a remarkable service and treated more than 1,000 patients surgically during this time, during the second wave, and contributed phenomenally for our society. Dr. Deepak, it's such an honor that you are here with us. Welcome. He was also the past president of the Otolaryngology Society. Thank you very much, Deepak, for being here. I also have my dear friend, Dr. Nagaraj. He's a senior consultant professor of ophthalmology at Minto Hospital and in several hospitals in Bangalore. He too has rendered selfless service in Bowring, done probably multiple orbital accentrations and reconstructed them. And that's where, when we come together and discuss these kind of things, we can contribute so much more to our specialty. Dr. Nagaraj, thank you very much for being here. Welcome to this program, and it's such an honor that you are also here today. When it comes down to maxillofacial surgery, there is another iconic figure, again a teacher of mine, who has contributed so much to our specialty, especially in oral cancer. And the first name which comes out in the country is Professor Dr. S.V. Kumarswamy. Sir, it's such an honor that you're here with us. Welcome, sir. Thank you so much. In fact, he trained me also in Kidwai when I was there in 91 and inspired me to go to UK. I don't know how to thank him for what I'm today. Thank you very much, sir, for being here with us. Number of other colleagues in the medical profession are here with us. I have my dear friend, Dr. Sunil Dutt, again, an ACNT surgeon, a legend by himself in cochlear implants in the country. Dr. Shankarshan, another ENT surgeon. Dr. Chandrika Dutt, our anesthetist, who has also done phenomenal amount of work during the COVID time in Apollo Hospital. They are also here with us. In fact, Dr. Nanjanappa is also just arriving there, again, a legendary figure in ENT circles. Thank you very much, sir, for being here with us. Our own maxillofacial surgeons contributed immensely across the country. And I think we should all feel extremely proud that as a specialty, we all stood up and contributed. Three of them, especially, three women, went out of the way and contributed immensely during this COVID time for the last 2 years. Our past president of our association, Dr. Neelam Andrade. She is the Dean of Nair Dental College, the only woman who had the guts to say, I will take the bull by the horn. In Mumbai, when the whole country was ravaged, said, I will spearhead the whole project. And she took up as the Dean of the NASCO Jumbo facility, which is the biggest COVID center in the whole world. In the whole world. 3,500 plus beds, 350 plus ICU beds in one facility with a huge control. You know, they were monitoring every patient. They treated more than about 40,000 patients during that time. And she spearheaded everything for that. Dr. Neelam, thank you very much for being today with us and honoring us. Welcome to this program. Another dynamic lady, a youngster, Dr. Sonal Anchali. Dr. Sonal is a professor and head of maxillofacial surgery at Jaipur Dental College, at Ahmedabad Government Dental College, Ahmedabad. She, in the government setup, has treated more than 1,000 patients of mucormycosis in her unit. A phenomenal work which she has done. Dr. Sonal, we are really, really honored that you are also here. She is also the executive committee member of our association today. I'm really proud that you have done such a phenomenal work. I'm so happy you're here. Dr. Hemlata, another star figure who is doing some phenomenal work, again a maxillofacial surgeon, heading the dental and maxillofacial unit at Bowring and Lady Curzon Hospital in Bangalore. Again has done some phenomenal work, doing more than 400 patients in her unit. It's really, really nice that you're here too. Thank you very much, Dr. Hemlata, and welcome to this meet. All our executive committee members, both from the national body, from the state body, all over the country, have really, really worked very, very hard for this day. I welcome each one of you, the president, secretaries, and the executive committee members all over the country who have really, really taken maxillofacial surgery to the next level, especially on today's function. Thank you very much for your contributions. This program is beamed not only in India, but all over the country. The Indian Dental Association is also an integral part of this event today. Dr. Ashok Doble is also present virtually. I take this privilege of welcoming you, sir. He's in Mumbai. He's also live today. And it's such an honor that the entire IDA is also viewing this program. We have almost about 70,000 dentists across the country who are watching this program today. We have our own state president, Dr. Srinidhi here. Welcome, Dr. Srinidhi. Dr. Utkarsh, who is the Bangalore chapter president. Thank you very much, Dr. Utkarsh. He is also the joint secretary of our association. Our own EC members here in Bangalore, Dr. Manjunath Reddy, Dr. Prithvi, Dr. Dipesh Rao, all of them, Dr. Girish Gowda, all of them have really, really contributed for this function. It's really an honor that so many of you are here today, our senior maxillofacial surgeons, various principals of dental colleges, heads of departments of various organizations, the Indian Prosthodontic Society, they are also a part of that this event today. In fact, we have Dr. Anand Krishna, who is also a part of this event here today. All of you are here. And more than anything, the young and the dynamic postgraduates. You are the future of our specialty. And I see such a huge potential for you in our beautiful specialty. Thank you very much for being with us, for supporting us, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy this program very well. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We would also acknowledge the presence and would like to invite the dignitaries who are off stage, Dr. Sanjay Mohan, Dr. Srinath, sir, our past General Secretary, Dr. Pritam Shetty, sir, Dr. Balasubramanya Kumar, sir, and Dr. David Toro, sir. We welcome you all, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much, dignitaries on and off the dais. The chief guest for today is the Honorable Minister of Health and Family Welfare and Medical Education, Government of Karnataka, Dr. K. Sudhakara. Dr. Keshav Reddy Sudhakara is an Indian politician serving as a Minister of Medical Education, Health and Family Welfare of Government of Karnataka from 6th of February 2020. He was elected to the Karnataka Legislative Assembly from Chikbalapur in 2018 and as a member of the Indian National Congress, and later was re-elected to the House in 2019 as a member of the Bharatiya Janata Party. He was the youngest cabinet minister in the 4th B.S. Yediyurappa ministry, being only 46 years old, and took charge in serving as a Minister of Medical Education and Health and Family Welfare. He was again sworn in as a minister in the current ministry, and during the COVID-19 pandemic in the Karnataka, he was a part of the COVID-19 response team along with the chief minister. He has given immense contribution, and his ideas to save people's life in the wake of pandemic and the vaccination drive that came across actually saved hundreds and thousands of lives in our state. Because he was not able to be here today physically, he's virtually online with us, and he's given us his best wishes for the success of this program. Thank you very much, sir.
We now have our guest of honor, the Senior Maxillofacial Surgeon par excellence, to have and talk to us. Dr. Paul Christodas Salids is an eminent maxillofacial surgeon. He currently is the medical director and the vice president of the Mazumdar Shaw Cancer Center and Narayana Hridayalaya Multi-Speciality Hospital, Bangalore. He is an internationally acclaimed authority in the specialty of craniomaxillofacial surgery, having trained and worked across the globe. Sir did his bachelor's degree and his master's degree and completed his master's degree from KMC Manipal in 1975. He then went on to do fellowship from the Royal College of Surgeons in Ireland in 1980. So then completed his master's and then again finished his fellowship from the Royal College of Surgeons in England in 2002. Sir finished his diploma in medicine in palliative medicine from Edinburgh Covert University, Australia. Sir currently is the Senior Vice President, the Medical Director of Mazumdar Shaw Cancer Center, and also the Managing Director of Mazumdar Shaw Medical Foundation. Sir, it's an honor to have you here, and we are eagerly waiting to hear your words. Please.
I'm truly overwhelmed and at today's gathering, and I really would like to congratulate Dr. Vai and Dr. Girish Rao. Dr. Girish Rao, I think such a collegiate gathering today of so many specialties, particularly the specialties associated with our own specialty. And it is extraordinary how this gathering has been put together, and so many people online, offline, listening to this discussion here. I think this augurs a a tremendous beginning for the association, and I look forward to great things happening. I'm truly overwhelmed with the introduction Dr. Girish Rao has given. I do not know what really to say. I'm really speechless. Dr. Girish Rao asked me to speak to you very briefly for 10 minutes on what I have managed to learn in 40 years of my experience in maxillofacial or craniofacial surgery. And really, I have done a lot of thinking to see, because it has been a fantastic journey, not necessarily an easy one, because when I joined the field, we were moreover doing dental alveolar surgery. And from the various thoughts I had, I thought to the younger generation, I would convey 4 key things which I have learned. First is that any specialty, whether it is maxillofacial surgery or neurosurgery, it should not be a cage, but a pedestal. What do I mean by this? Even when I took the maxillofacial surgery or craniofacial surgery, you can just focus on small techniques. And we focus so much, our life becomes limited to few techniques. And as a consequence, we ultimately end up not actually creating an art and science of a specialty. Art and science of any specialty, particularly craniofacial surgery, is something quite different to the techniques that we learn. If you just focus on saying, I will learn how to do clefts, how to do craniofacial techniques, how to do craniosynostosis, how to do, let us say, LIFOR-1 osteotomy, you become so circumscribed in your ability to contribute that you become only a person who is just adopting different techniques to different applications. You will not become a creative surgeon. And I'm so happy that we have people like Dr. Girish Rao, Dr. David here on today with us, who have set the stage to what is going to be a creative endeavor in craniofacial surgery. So the first thing I would say is that please don't limit yourself to a cage. Do not make craniofacial surgery. And when I see Dr. Andrade, what she has done in COVID, I begin to realize that how far you can extend, as a maxillofacial surgeon, to take up the responsibility of COVID. It shows the confidence for the bandwidth she has developed. And I really think going forward, we are in an extremely exciting world with so many possibilities. If we can work with ENTs, if we can work with neurosurgeons, we can work with different specialties, sociology, and all other different fields, the amount of contribution we can do is that way. Craniofacial surgery becomes the pedestal from which we can actually provide contribution what the country needs or the world also needs. And you can be even an entrepreneur and probably even get into any other fields. Secondly, what I really learned is circumstances must not determine your role, but the needs you encounter. I think again and again in my life, when I first came to A.B. Shetty, we did not have an operating theater or anything, So I had really started working in a nursing home, and we had not done any of the procedures. If I had thought that, my role has to be circumscribed, but what was available, it is highly improbable. Same thing when I came to Dharwad. Now you see a grand building, but what I saw was a very, very simple dental college on the first floor in the marketplace, with a lot of people had this spat on the walls when we were actually climbing a narrow staircase to reach the dental school. I went there because there was a steam engine which attracted my attention. And, the college did not inspire me at all. But, if we had circumscribed ourselves to what we saw, and all that this takes is how do you adapt yourself to the circumstance. Really, when I went there, we did not even have a blood bank. We did not have a laboratory. I had to get our maxillofacial surgery residents to train how to do cross-matching, how to do the laboratory investigations, how to look after the ICU patients. And as a consequence, those students of mine who initially did it, subsequently did their MD, and today, wherever you go in Britain, And sometimes in other parts, even in New York, you begin to see some of our students who have rose to be great leaders in different fields. So please, wherever you go, you will find. Now, I remember one day I told Dr. Devi while I was entrusted with this responsibility to develop our hospital, I said that, Dr. Shetty, I have never developed 1,000 or planned 1,000-bed hospital. He said, neither have I. So, let us learn what needs to be done and go ahead and do it. Third one, qualifications do not determine the quality of your thinking, but your learning. I do not know. I think this is extremely important because we get so much preoccupied with what defines us is our degrees. Your degrees do not determine you. If at all, I have learned from my experience, and I'm sure Dr. Girish Rao, Dr. Rai will agree with me that it is not whether you have that qualification, whether you have this qualification. On the contrary, very often, if you see the history of the world and history of the people who have built real leadership in the world, you will find that many of them do not have the qualification. Probably the majority of them do not have the qualifications. It is the learning, the enthusiasm, the passion that they bring to the specialty. If at all, if you have the passion and if you have the desire to do what you want to do, you will do all the learning that is necessary to equip yourself to fill any positions. I actually came and started, to give my own example, to a large multi-specialty hospital, a cancer institute. I did not know where to, about, we have, in those days, we had only cobalt machines. And I had to go and learn about what is VMAT, what is the different modes of radiotherapy equipment, and finally, even to planning a 500,000 square feet building, with each floor more than 1 acre, took a tremendous amount of understanding, but because I had the motivation, the passion, because Dr. Kiran Mazumdar and Dr. Devi Shetty had put the trust in me, I had to live up to that. It automatically happened. So please do not think that your degrees define your capabilities, but you learn. And very often, the last thing that I really would like to say also is that in terms, please do not limit yourself to only maxillofacial surgery. Now, most of my work in artificial intelligence, in developing systems, in mathematical systems and engineering systems as part of and what I realized that the substrate of your thought, of the creativity, arises from not from the small fields that define us. It is certainly not from a medical field. Because if you just limit yourself to that sort of a reductionist thinking of medicine, we will never make progress because we always look at it at a reductionist way. But you have to look at philosophy, you have to look at art, you have to look at music, you have to develop the ideas for thought from every endeavor of human culture. So please, do not focus only on medicine and surgery as your everything. Develop a cultural mindset. And if you do that, you will have the vocabulary to negotiate any area of enterprise development. And that's what you should do. You should become educated human beings, then everything else become automatic. And I do know that with Dr. Girish, we have somebody who advocates it, is passionate about it, and I know that our association will have much more things. I know an art exhibition is already on, isn't it, Dr. Rai? Finally, I would like to say something which is very important. Humility is always the enabler, and pride is the confiner. It is the basic principle. You meet any surgeon, I was brought up in those days when surgeons were great prima donnas. They were really like gods. When they walked, everybody had to fall and worship them. And I remember going to some oncology centers, not in India. When I went to do, in those days, surgery was done by few people, and they were absolute gods. But the truth of the matter is humility. I consider my entire capability and everything learned. My mother was a very brilliant doctor, but also a lady of great faith. So I would always ask her, particularly when we were starting skull-base surgery and so on, it was uncharted field. I would ask her to pray. And then you felt that there was always you could reach out to something above you and beyond you, and where there is no limit to what you can do if you are not constrained by the limitations of your pride. But humility allows you to interact with people, work with people, be good to people, and find dimensions of thought which is simply impossible for a proud person to have. And you will also be something else. You will be a happy and a friendly person. That makes all the difference. This is what I have really learned in my experience of 40 years. And this I would like to leave with you. Once again, thank you, Dr. Girish, Dr. Vai, and for giving me this great privilege to speak. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, sir. I'm sure that sir's words has inspired and enlightened a lot of us.
Our next guest of honor for the day is Professor Dr. Jayakara SM. Sir is joining virtually with us today, and he sent a video message for us. Dr. Jayakara SM did his Bachelor's of Dentistry and Master of Dental Surgery in the specialty of prosthodontics from Government Dental College, Bangalore. He did his diploma in dental implantology from France and a fellow of Pierre Fauchard Academy. He is the former Vice Chancellor of the Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Sciences, Dean and Faculty of Dentistry of RGUHS, member of the Dental Council of India, Principal, Professor, and Head of the Department of Prosthodontics and Implantology in Maruti Dental College, Bangalore. He was the Academic Counselor of the MS Ramaiah University of Applied Sciences and the Academic Counselor of Jagadguru Sri Shivrateshwara University, Mysore. His vision is to develop top-class research-based education that this world deserves, and his passion is to ignite learning and research capabilities in our young minds. Let us listen to his video message. Thank you.
Dr. K. Sudhakar, Honorable Minister for Health and Family Welfare and Medical Education, Government of Karnataka, and guest of honor, Sri Tejasvi Surya, Honorable Member of Parliament, Bangalore South, and Srimati Revati Kamath, and renowned the internationally oral and maxillofacial surgeon, Dr. Paul C. Salims, Medical Director and Vice President, Mujumdar Shah Cancer Hospital, Bangalore, and my friend, Dr. Manjunath Rai, the President, Indian Association of Oral and Maxillofacial Surgeons, and Dr. Girish Rao, Secretary, Association of Indian Oral and Maxillofacial Surgeons of India. Today is internationally we are celebrating Oral and Maxillofacial Day. Happy Oral and Maxillofacial Day, and we're all assembled here to celebrate this the event, and we all know how the maxillofacial surgery has evolved in India, and presently our specialty has sparked with international level because of our renowned teachers and the galaxy of maxillofacial surgeons are gathered here today. And during the second, our maxillofacial surgeon, our dental students and interns and postgraduate students have worked tirelessly during COVID-19 first wave and second wave, and they have involved in testing, contact tracing. They have worked in ICU also, and later they have worked in the vaccination campaign, vaccination programs also. And maxillofacial surgeons of India, they have contributed a lot during this COVID period. And during this second wave crisis, they have there was a scarcity of antifungal drug, and the maxillofacial surgeons of India, they have contributed money, and their contact, they have procured a lot of amphotericin B from other countries, and they have distributed all over the India free of cost during those crises. And you all know the mucormycosis, and there's a lot of the patients during second wave suffered from this, and our maxillofacial surgeons of India, they have worked tirelessly with ENT surgeon and plastic surgeon and ophthalmologist, and they have contributed a lot in this health crisis. And our prosthodontist, I should mention Dr. Anand Krishna, Secretary, Bangalore Prosthodontic Society, and all the members of the Bangalore Prosthodontic Society. They have helped worked in Bowring Hospital to rehabilitation of all the mucormycosis cases, and I must congratulate them for their effort and contributing a good cause for this crisis and helping the mankind without expecting anything, and they have done a wonderful job. And as you all know, the maxillofacial surgeons of India, they are doing a very good work, not only in rehabilitation work, and they're contributing a lot. There's a lot of the cancer, oral cancer and maxillofacial regions also, and trauma cases, and they're all doing a wonderful work in the health sciences. And I thank one and all for inviting me for this function, and thank you one and all. Thank you.
Moving on, we now have another chief guest of honor, Amit Sir, who has expressed his inability to make it for the function today. However, Mr. Tejasvi Surya, the Member of Parliament, Bangalore South constituency, has joined us virtually and has given us a message where he conveys his heartfelt congratulations and wishes to all the maxillofacial surgeons throughout the country, And he has urged the youngsters, yes, especially, to come forward and take the profession and to provide service to the needy and take the country to greater heights. Thank you, Mr. Tejasvi Surya. May I now request Dr. Nagesh sir to kindly address the gathering. Dr. Nagesh sir did his bachelor's degree from the erstwhile Bangalore University in the year 1969 and did his master's degree in oral medicine and radiology in 1975. Sir is a member of Advisory Panel, Department of Public Health Dentistry, Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Sciences. He is also the patron of South Asian Society of Oral and Maxillofacial Implantology, Chairman of Asian Dental Forum India. He was the ex-director and consultant, Department of Public Health, RGHS. Sir was also the ex-dean of Dental Faculty, RGHS. He was the ex-principal professor and HOD, Department of Oral Medicine and Radiology of the RV Dental College. Sir has been awarded the Karnataka Rajyotsava Award in Medicine, which is the highest civilian award in the state of Karnataka. Sir also has an honorary doctorate for his yeoman service in the field of health and education by the Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Sciences. More than the honors and the awards that Sir has received, his greatest achievement is in mentoring and nurturing and guiding thousands of youngsters and students who now carry Sir's legacy across the globe. And he continues to guide and inspire us. Sir is certainly the Bhishma Pitamaha of dentistry in our times. Sir, for your kind words.
Distinguished people on the stage, off the stage. First of all, I thank Dr. Girish Rao and Dr. Manjunath Rai for inviting me. In fact, when Dr. Girish asked me to be one of the guests of honor, I said I'm an art person in the presence of the luminaries of the oral and maxillofacial surgeons. However, I consider this as an honor. The COVID-19 has taught the entire humanity all over the world a lesson that if we go against nature, the nature will bounce back with revenge. And that's what we have landed here today. But there are the positive signs also, because this has opened up the vistas for new modalities of the treatment in the medical field, has brought people of different specialities, maxillofacial surgeons, ENT surgeons, ophthalmic neurosurgeons together to give a comprehensive treatment to the suffering humanity. That's a good sign. And many of the innovative ideas, innovations are done during this COVID period. So we, the medical professionals, have taken this as a challenge. I only feel that we should not have a segmental or compartmentalized approach while treating the patient. It should be a really multidisciplinary approach which will benefit the patient. And I congratulate all those who are involved in the treatment of mucormycosis to bring a relief to the thousands of patients. My only suggestion to the association is, in our country, the doctors of different specialties, all of us are busy doing the clinical work, but when it comes to the recordings or the data, we are very poor. But now the things have improved with the IT technologies. I only request Dr. Manjunath Rai and Dr. Girish Rao and all those who are associated, when you have treated, and Dr. Neelam Andrade, who has treated thousands of patients, you make a very good recording and publish in the national or the international journals. And this treatment and this approach is going to be a big treasure for the younger generation for the decades to come. In fact, I had the opportunity of working with Dr. Rudiger Kresch, who is the additional director of the WHO based in Geneva. I had met him many times. He had come here also in the university when I was a director. I sent him a mail that in our country, the Association of Maxillofacial Surgeons have treated thousands of cases of mucormycosis. He was delighted. He said he would like to have the data, which will be of great use to the WHO to develop as one of the best data from the globe, and it will be of great use. Dr. Girish Rao and Dr. Manjunath Rai, whatever little I can do in that direction, I will certainly do it. Wish you all the best, and I'm delighted to be in the presence of the luminaries of this branch. Dr. Paul Salis, whom I know from many times, and he's a multifaceted person. So also the Girish Rao. Probably all these surgeons are always multifaceted ones. Either they are good in painting, good in arts, good in music, and I'm sure that that will help them to evolve as a better human being to treat the suffering human being. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for your inspiring words. We now have our guest of honor, Mrs. Revati Kamath, along with us. Revati Kamath belongs to a family of having a rich musical background, and she's been passionate about learning Veena since childhood from her beloved father, Sri N. Krishnamurti. She grew to become a Vidwan in playing Veena, and she went on to give concerts at various places, and she even taught music to many students. She pursued her MSc in botany, and later she became an entrepreneur who started her own business venture on floral decoration and event organizer for 8 years. Her beautiful work that we can all see is in Leela Palace, West End, Wipro, and many more places, and are all still appreciated. She owns a floral boutique called Calyx, which has also gained a lot of recognition for her wonderful work. She then trained a lot of boys who are now leading the market in floral decorations with their businesses in Bangalore. Later, she transformed her company Calyx into a landscaping firm and becomes one of the noted landscaper in India. She worked with reputed international architects like Belt Collins, Perdian, Jurong, Site Concepts International, etc. Her website, ecocalyx.com, is showing some of her landscape work photos, which you all can go look out for. Now, she has devoted herself to solve environmental issues and has also started working on big projects like large-scale tea plantation, lake rejuvenation, of Rajakaluve clearance, etc. She has also adopted one underprivileged school at Halligere village and has equipped the school with latest technologies and has made it digitized, which is giving power of education to thousands of village children. Several renowned organizations has recognized her social work, and she's been awarded for her selfless contribution to the society. She wants to empower the youth who are students to stand by the truth and to fight our Mother Earth through dedication, zeal, and passion to work together to make our country proud of its rich heritage. Ma'am, we are very honored to have you with us today. Please do address our gathering. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everybody. Dignitaries on this dais and offline and online this one people. And first of all, I want to say Vaidyo Narayano Harihi. My father has been teaching us like doctors are like God, and that is I see God in every doctor. And during this pandemic, they have proved that they are real gods, and they serve so many without thinking about their own health and their family health and all. They serve so much, and they lost their lives also. And I'm proud to say that I'm the mother of two sons, my sons, Nitin Kamath and Nikhil Kamath. And they own the company called Zerodha. They have founded the company called Zerodha, and it is the highest, largest stock brokerage firm in India. And this one, more than that, why I'm talking about them is like that, they have contributed lots and lots of facilities to COVID during COVID first wave and second wave. Even they helped crores of rupees to government, and ambulances and providing food, and nearly 9 lakh people we have provided the food. And like, no, we have also donated the oxygen concentrator production, oxygen production units in certain places. And like, no, that's really, I'm proud. And they have kept their 25% of their wealth for the sake of social work, for social work. That may be any sector. I think medical sector is also one among it. The major thing is medical sector. And when Mr. Girish called me, and I accepted that invitation because of like, no, connecting my sons to their cause. And it is a very I don't have words to express about the cause what Mr. Girish, Dr. Girish explained me, and really, really like no tears came out of me, like no, like how patients are suffering from the steroids effects and like after effects of the corona. And it is really, really like no, that I have seen like no people, poor people especially, suffering because we used to supply food, and nearly during the lockdown, no, like we supplied 9 lakh people who were not even having water and who were not even having food, and they used to wait for our food packets. We have opened one kitchen at Indranagar, and then from that kitchen so many social workers came to help us in supplying and all like that. No, that we used to take food, our vehicles used to take food to the huts and like no, that is like corners. And I had seen practically, I had seen so many suffering, and like no, it is really like no, I'm proud that we are capable of helping so many. Like no, God made us come to this level and made us earn so much money to distribute. And like after earning money, my sons have not sit back and enjoying the money, and they always think about how to contribute, how to contribute to the society. And like no, see, so many knows about them. And even during this second wing, we have taken up responsibility of one government hospital, like Pabati Hospital. It was closed during like no long back, and we have taken that hospital, and like no, now also it is running. And like no, we have been giving this one wherever you see, like no, that our ambulances were moving around day and night, day and night. I was seeing practical, so many calls I used to get for the ICUs. And like no, by the time they usually by the time they get admitted, they should be shipped to them to ICU hospitals. Like there were no ICU beds and that this and all. I had seen practically so many deaths from my own eyes, and like it is really, really pathetic. And thank God, because of all the doctors and mainly vaccination. Even in vaccination drive also, Zeroda worked a lot. Even now they are working. And so if we can do little bit contribution towards this patients who are suffering from this this one, the jaw problem, after effects of this steroids and all, I will be really grateful. And that's why I have accepted this. And about environment, Mr. Nagesh is our relative and very close close friend, and he's like our family well-wisher and all. So like I was telling him that he told me like to talk about environment also. Like environment I have chosen, like no, I think I'm not taking much time. No? Okay, like environment issues, like no, have like because of landscaping, I started moving along with the nature, and like no, I started observing like that. This is so many, we are such a great like no, we are so many population, like no, how many are turning towards environment. Like exactly, like that is a very pathetic scene of existing situation. During Corona, everyone realized that necessity of oxygen for the human body, and like no, that is like no, but we think, and I think you people are doing your best work as doctors, but outside, normal human beings, they are not turning towards and seeing the environment hazards. Like environmental hazards are like no, that is you are not facing now the environmental hazard. If you people are not turned towards environment, that you have to face another 50, 25 or 50 years, you have to face the worst situation. because like no, now that whatever the trees in the Kabban Park or Lal Bagh or anywhere, while coming here, I was seeing the trees over here. Like no, in this campus, all trees are old trees. Like how many days like the trees survive? In Kabban Park, how many days the old trees are going to survive? One wind comes, so many trees fell down and they die. And like no, so many few people sit quiet and do like no, wait for some miracles. It is nothing going to happen. I take every opportunity like this and talk to people and tell about the hazards of environment, how it is like no, in another next generation, next to next generation, they have to suffer a lot because of lack of oxygen and lack of these trees and all. And lakes also, I am rejuvenating lake. Like last 2 years back, I have rejuvenated Somnali Lake. That is 28 years lake. Like no, that is 80 years. That lake was dried up and people were using for going for latrine, that, this and all. They were using, and even 8 to 10 acres of that lake area was encroached and put there's some fencing on that. I went and that removed all the fencing and like that, no, I rejuvenated and the 28 acres lake and planted 5,000 saplings over there. Now almost 2.5 years, that's all the saplings has grown and it has become like a mini forest like these things. No, like I'm a lady, like how much I can do. Like no, since 8 years, nobody turned towards that lake. What hazards happening to that lake? Some sand mafia is to happen, and that's because of sand mafia, that lake was dug here and there 20 feet in one place and other place. Like it is like no, it was like if I could have not gone and taken over the charge of that lake, no, that by this time the building could have raised and like no, that is so many hazard could have happened over there. But luckily I went and the village panchayati people supported me, especially the president supported me. There was no like I have not faced any bribe or any money transaction over there. They allowed me to do everything and they supported, like Mr. Niraju Gowda, president of that time. He supported me and he stood behind me and we cleared that fence and that I saved nearly 9 acres and gave back to village panchayat. And now that lake, no, that is 3.5 kilometers, the Raja Canal was blocked and encroached by this one, that villagers. And there know so many business people. So like we went and that 60 feet and 3.5 kilometer Raja Canal. Another 1 kilometer is still pending. I have to do this year. And then all the Kanakpurali road water goes and joins that lake, and like that rainwater goes and fills that lake. It was blocked since last 80 years. Like so, there was no water in the lake. And it is a very big story. If I tell, like it takes lots of time. So like no, that what is happening, like no, there is a Suvarnamukhi river going on over there. And Arakavati river starts from this one, Nandi Hills, and comes and joins the Suvarnamukhi river. And Suvarnamukhi and Arakavati both together goes and joins in Kaveri, Sangama. Then these lakes in the villages, no, that I'm not touching any, because our honorable ministers are also online and watching it. And I can't touch inside Bangalore lakes, because like that is all like some, this one is there in that. And like I'm looking into only the village lakes, like no, that village lakes also having these problems, like no, Raja canals, especially the rainwater entering into Raja canal is blocking and encroaching, and they're doing the farming, and then they put their bring up their houses, that is and all, so that rainwater entering into the through Raja canal to the lake is cutting, they're stopping over there only. Then complete nature is getting this one destroyed. Because that if the lake won't this one fill, the bore wells and the open wells in that village surrounding some 100 or 200 acres area, that is going to dry up, and water belt is going down. And like after that, daily I was waiting for that this one rain after I finished my one, and 2 rains that time, Bangalore 3 years back, 2 rains came and my 28-acre lake filled. And then the after effects of that filling of that lake, now the surrounding area, 300 borewells recharged, and then the water level in the borewells raised, and then this one open wells, 150 open wells are full now. Like in another 50, 60, 100 years, there won't be any water problem over there. So like if everyone joins with me, and especially you are educated people, if you people make a group and join me, and I can make you people also come into my work. And now I have taken up one more lake, Naganaikanahali Lake. There that lake surrounding that village is 2,000 population is there. All the 2,000 people are farmers. Now the this one borewell level is like the borewell comes in 1,800 feet down, and then if we only one lake is there in that village. If I want now only in 1 acre, so total 7 acres lake that is, and only 1 acre water is there. So this year I'm going to this one clear the Raja Kalwe of that, and that is if the lake fills, and then automatically the farmers gets all the borewells, and nearly half of the borewells is dead now. And because after this this lake fills, automatically the water, this one farming increases. It is interconnected. We can plant trees over there. And how people, environment, see now so many organizations are planting trees and all that. I want to tell you all like that. No, see how genuinely they are planting trees. See, they plant and go. They take photos and put it in the social media there, here. And I'm really, really angry with the people who are doing drama with the nature. See, it is just nothing but drama. They're not knowing what they are doing. Like this one, no, they are this one, their mother, they are torturing their mother. Then that forest department tree saplings will be there with some influence, even not paying money to the forest department. They bring trees, and then they take photos, and then big functions they make, and they plant trees and all. Then next week, if we go, the trees won't be there. Because they won't water it. And if we plant a tree, at least we need to adopt a child like that. And if you buy a tree, and if you plant a tree anywhere, that 3 years you need to take care of it, and you need to make it grow. At least you need to make it grow up to 12 feet. And then afterwards they start taking care of us. So while planting trees, take an oath that I will keep some money for this, and I will take care of it. Please, at least from educated people, I don't expect this horrible thing. That is because I know that lots of reputed organizations are doing like this. They want to do a project. They will claim that they have planted 5,000 trees. I have seen it from my eyes like that. No, 5,000 trees. Next 2 months, I went and saw there was no sign of trees there. If everyone wants do drama like this, who is there to take care of our earth? So hereby I request you all to at least in your lifespan, at least think of planting 100 trees. Then miracle is going to happen. So I take this opportunity to make you all understand. Hope I did brought some knowledge into all your minds. And thank you for giving this opportunity for the thing. And thanks, Girish and others.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
We now have Dr. Deepak Haldipur. Dr. Deepak Haldipur is one of the most accomplished ENT surgeons of our country. He brings to his credit an immense experience spanning over 3 decades in the field of otorhinolaryngology and head and neck surgery. He's one of the most foremost and the sought-out surgeons who mastered the excellence in skull-based surgeries in both endoscopic and lateral skull-based surgeries. He currently heads the ENT department in Trustwell Hospitals, and is also the director of Trustwell Hospital. So can we have you to speak to our gathering?
I think at this rate, maybe we'll all forget we have to talk on mucor later. I think it's going too long. I'll cut the thing very short. In life, if you are unconditional, the benefits you get are tremendous. When Girish called me, I didn't have a clue why should I accept it, but I said yes because Girish is a friend. And I have an excellent relation with the facial-maxillary fraternity all my life. And the benefit was that I could hear the mind-blowing talk from Dr. Paul Salins. It was an amazing bit of talk which I heard in the last 6 months maybe, or even more. It was simply fantastic. The fact, that you said don't keep bothering about your qualification, and that fantastic sentence you said that pride is the limiting factor and humility is the expander. It's something, I identify myself a lot with facial-maxillary fraternity because I'm an ENT surgeon. In 1990, when I finished my ENT, whenever anybody introduced me in any hospital nursing home, they would always add a suffix, that or a prefix, Papa ENT surgeon. And you guys have gone through the same thing. I can see there's so many things common between facial-maxillary and ENT. They all feel that we have still not got our due. But believe me, in this world, nobody gives anybody a quarter extra, a quarter less. Please don't confuse it with other quarter which we have in the evening. Ultimately, we should walk the talk and our work should do the talk, and work will do the talk. I had never imagined in my life that the mandible and fibula can exchange places till I saw the Max Fac surgeons doing it, isn't it? My journey with you guys starts here with Sanjay Mohan, who is sitting there, was my hostel mate for a brief while in Bangalore Medical College. Then, of course, Girish Rao, a great surgeon himself. Satyajit Dandagi, an amazing surgeon who made me realize that mandible and fibula come together. Prithvi Balepur, who can play the sitar with the same dexterity that he used his special instruments in a government college to do all the mucor work. Hats off, not wearing a hat. Or when I look at Aditya Murthy, Tulsi Naik, they have prepared my slides today, but it was an amazing teamwork. And as Paul Salins put it, life doesn't give you choices. You have to just take life as it comes, like a pillow fight, whatever is thrown at you. When we started the hospital, Dr. Madhusudan, neurosurgeon, told me, sir, we have all the angles covered. And this was in August 2019. And nobody had a clue that something called as COVID would come. When I went on a holiday to Nairobi in February to Masai Mara, and in the airport, I saw a lot of Chinese wearing a mask. And me and my son laughed at them. That was the last laugh we ever had in the last 2.5 years. Then April 30th, the first mucor case came in the Delta variant. And then it came and came and came and came. I never thought I would have 82 inpatients in a hospital in my name. And we would be operating 15 cases a day. But it happened. And believe me, but for my facial-maxillary department, I couldn't have run the program. They did all the rounds. They calculated the amphotericin doses. Thankfully, after some time, the amphotericin ran out of stock. And we had to go into posaconazole, then isoconazole, what all and what not. Don't keep on bothering about what is your degree and what you have to do. There's no way. As Paul put it, being qualified is one thing and being educated is one thing. We are still in an era where we are double PhDs But SLC failed fellow comes and tells me, put your gate from this side to this side and the Vastu will improve and you will get more patients. This is what education has done to us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. The most awaited part of today's program is here. Mucomycosis has ravaged the affected and has not only left these unfortunate ones with physical deformities, but have also caused a deep emotional and psychological scars on all these individuals. Their hopes are low and the pain is unfathomable. But thanks to the amalgamation of technology with medicine, we now have solutions to all their problems. To showcase their plight and answers to all their questions, Association of Oral and Maxillofacial Surgeons of India is now going to release a video that we hope reaches thousands of people across the country who need it. A video that gives them hope, a video that tells them that they're not alone in the battle. We now request the dignitaries on the dais to officially release the video.
For the past 2 years, humanity has faced an unprecedented challenge. The coronavirus pandemic has claimed millions of lives across the world, but India had to deal with a unique and possibly even more lethal threat, black fungus, also known as mucormycosis, a rare and deadly infection that preyed on COVID survivors with weakened immune systems, spreading and ravaging the eyes, teeth, nose, jaws, and the brain.
I got diagnosed with COVID in April 2021. At the end of COVID, I had a dental pain on my left-hand side. I was very scared and it was a bleak future for me to know that there is furthermore treatment needed after the COVID.
अप्रैल 2021 में मुझे बुखार आया, बुखार के साथ ही मुझे कोरोना हो गया और उसके बाद मेरे दांतों में इन्फेक्शन शुरू हो गया। इन्फेक्शन छोटे छोटे बैलून बन गए, उसके अंदर थोड़ा पस और ये ब्लड वगैरह इकट्ठा होने लग गया। एमआरआई डॉक्टर ने मुझे सजेस्ट किया, सीटी स्कैन कराओ, एमआरआई कराओ। उसमें मेरी जो रिपोर्ट आई उसमें आया ब्लैक फंगस हो गया है।
Experts believe mucormycosis gets triggered by the indiscriminate use of steroids. While steroids reduce inflammation in the lungs for COVID-19, they also reduce immunity and push up blood sugar levels in both diabetic and non-diabetic COVID-19 patients, which makes patients especially susceptible to the black fungus infection. Removing black fungus means removing parts of the oral cavity, facial bones, and overlaying soft tissue that have been destroyed completely. This leads to facial disfigurement and the loss of ability to eat, swallow, and speak normally.
3 surgeries. As part of those surgeries, they had removed my upper left teeth and they had removed my upper left jaw, which created a void between my face and my nose. That was leaking air, which was creating difficulty for me to speak and eat food.
डॉक्टर साहब ने बताया कि आपके 5 दांत निकाले जाएंगे। 5 दांत की जगह फिर जब मैं अपना कराने गई, इसको ऑपरेट कराने गई, तो उस वक्त मेरा जो इन्फेक्शन था वो ज्यादा फैल चुका था। और फिर डॉक्टर साहब ने मेरा ऊपर का सारा जबड़ा निकाला और जो मेरी बोन्स थी वो भी उन्होंने निकाल दी। मैं उस टाइम काफी वीक हो गई थी क्योंकि मैं कुछ ढंग से खा पी नहीं पा रही थी और मेरा उस दौरान 10 kg मेरा वजन रिड्यूस हो गया था। काफी अपने आप को कमजोर और डिप्रेशन में महसूस करने लगी थी मैं। बच्चे भी बहुत परेशान थे लेकिन मुझे बहुत सपोर्ट करते थे, मेरी फैमिली, मेरे हस्बैंड सभी, नहीं आप ठीक हो जाओगे, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है।
Their only hope rested in the hands of a unique group of experts, oral and maxillofacial surgeons. Oral and maxillofacial surgery is a unique, internationally recognized specialty that bridges the fields of dentistry and medicine. It focuses on reconstruction and rehabilitation to treat diseases, injuries, and defects in the jaws, face, head, and neck. This multidisciplinary stream has seen amazing advancements in recent times. Oral and maxillofacial surgeons leverage cutting-edge technology to perform zygomatic implants and patient-specific implants for faces mutilated by black fungus removal surgeries. The surgeons take advantage of 3D printing and reconstructive models to develop and reconstruct facial bones and all the lost structures, including teeth, to achieve perfect aesthetics and functionality. Thanks to Make in India, many of the equipment and materials used for this reconstructive surgery and treatments are now indigenously developed in India.
तो फिर उसके बाद इम्प्लांट हुआ, इम्प्लांट में मेरे फिर उसके बाद में 2-2.5 महीने बाद फिर मेरे टीथ लगाए गए और सारे दांत लगाने के बाद में मैं बिल्कुल अच्छा फील कर रही हूँ, पहले जैसा ही फील कर रही हूँ जैसे मैं पहले थी, बिल्कुल उसी पोजीशन में आ गई हूँ। मेरी वॉइस बहुत अच्छी हो गई, मेरे खाने लगी हूँ मैं प्रॉपर और मेरे जो फेस की जो शेप है वो भी मेरी ठीक हो गई है, मुझे कोई दिक्कत नहीं है किसी तरह की।
Even today, black fungus remains a serious and debilitating threat for thousands of patients. But the oral and maxillofacial surgeons across India are united in their efforts to restore and rehabilitate lives, with the promise that help and hope is just one click away. Find out more on aomsi.com.
Thank you. I request the dignitaries to kindly be seated again. At this juncture, we would like to place our sincere gratitude to Dr. Manoj Kumar, the Dean and Director of Bowring and Lady Curzon Hospital, for graciously permitting us to utilize the hospital premises for shooting of this video. Thank you, sir.
We now move on to the next segment of our inauguration program, which is the Felicitation program. Women have key roles to play in the society, and as surgeons, they balance a whole new level of multitasking. The superpowers of women are compassion, empathy, and empowerment. Today, we are extremely honored to be felicitating 3 beautiful women oral and maxillofacial surgeons who have led the team during the crisis of COVID and mucormycosis. The Association of Oral and Maxillofacial Surgeons of India recognizes the exemplary service of these 3 courageous women surgeons with the Service of Mankind Award. It is my privilege to invite Dr. Neelam Andrade onto the dais for the felicitation. May I request the President of AOMSI, Dr. Manjunath Rai, and the Secretary, Dr. Girish Rao, to please escort ma'am onto the dais. I personally admire her simplicity, affection, and magnetic personality, which inspired me when I met her first time in 2019 in Bangalore conference. When COVID shadowed the world, Mumbai being one of the cities which had increasing number of COVID cases, Dr. Neelam Andrade was given charge as the Dean of NESCO Jumbo COVID Center in May 2020. NESCO is a huge area of exhibition halls over 5 lakh square meters. She was given 8 to 10 days to start a complete hospital setup within an empty exhibition hall. went on month by month until she reached the bed capacity of 3,700 with an inclusive ICU setup bed with 313 beds in an in-house CT scan center and dialysis too. The oxygen tanks, Duracells, and oxygen pipelines and a vaccination center was recently added. A total of 27,000 plus COVID patients have been admitted so far, with 5 lakh plus citizens have been given vaccination in their center. She faced multiple challenges, but overcame them all. She is the only dental faculty in the world who successfully commissioned and ran a COVID jumbo center with a core team of the dental fraternity. A huge round of applause to your amazing work, ma'am. Thank you so much for always inspiring us. She continues to be the dean of the Jumbo as well as the Naya Dental Hospital. And this is the only operation one till now, and it has been ranked as #1 by the public and Mirchi Radio #1. So far, she's received 16 certificates and awards, including from the Mayor of Mumbai and Honorable Governor of Maharashtra. She wishes to thank her authorities, the Chief Minister of Maharashtra and the Municipal Commissioner for considering her worthy of this additional responsibility and bestowing her with this charge when the city of Mumbai was in crisis. I used to read about ma'am's work in NESCO when she used to share her experiences in the women's Max Facts group that I'm very privileged to be a part of. With the panic at its peak, her grit and determination, ambitious yet kind-hearted approach gave us all surgeons all over the world such immense strength and courage. When I asked her which is one thing which actually kept her going, she said that happiness of the patients, which when they actually come out of it and they say, yes, I'm cured, I'm recovered, and they're sending them home, there is nothing beyond that which we can actually give. We salute you, ma'am, for always inspiring us with your dedication. Thank you so much. We've asked for all of you to kindly congratulate ma'am and give a huge round of applause for her relentless service that she's rendered during COVID-19. Thank you, ma'am. It is my privilege to invite Dr. Sonal Anchalia onto the dais for the felicitation. And I would request the President of AOMSI, Dr. Manjunath Rai, and General Secretary, Dr. Girish Rao, to please escort her onto the dais. Dr. Sonal is an enigmatic, dynamic, and a delightful person. Equally active in administration, surgery, and research, she heads the Oral and Maxillofacial Department in GDC of Ahmedabad. With the rise of COVID, when we saw healthcare systems struggling to stand in the strong battle, she led the team of oral and maxillofacial surgeons, ENT surgeons, and physicians to successfully treat hundreds of cases of mucormycosis. In the initial wave, the rise of numbers were around 70, which just were manageable. But in the second Delta wave, the ratio of admissions and the beds available just went off hand. The dental college OT and beds just got filled in a day. She requested the medical college to provide beds and OTs to treat specially mucor cases. And at one point, there were 60 beds which got filled in 2 days. No matter how many cases they did in a day, it was always fell short. At one point of time, there were 250 cases in the department to take care of. 4 OTs, 3 hospitals, 2 beds in 1 OT to do simultaneously. Sometimes they would even do cases under local anesthesia because it was so full and the burden was so much. She requested the health secretary, commissioner, and the MD of medical store supplies to give us the amphotericin B. She showcased that even dentists and maxillofacial surgeons were doing orbital excentrations, skull-based surgeries, and they had done a lot to save the patients. She showed them that the actual work of surgical debridement was done by our specialty, our proud oral and maxillofacial surgery specialty. She insisted on getting amphotericin directly to the hospital, and she was treating on strong persistence and was successful in getting them. As the executive committee member of the AOMSI, she raised the issue of this in AOMSI and was instrumental in formation of the AOMSI COVID Fund for muco patients. They hired a team of ENT oculoplastic surgeons in their own team. And since they were not trained at the same level, she actually had to go to individual OTs, do the major work, come back, then go to the next OT. And she had to shuttle between all these. And then she did a tremendous amount of work. The most heartwarming part of this journey was at that one point, ma'am herself was affected with COVID. And in spite of that, she got back to work, wore triple masks, PPEs, and started treating patients and operating on them, which was very important to save lives. This, your intuitive and clear-sighted mind helped to get work done along with your persistence and diligence. Thank you so much, ma'am, for being such a generous soul, because you put patients above you. We salute you for always inspiring us with your work. Thank you so much, ma'am, and congratulations. It is my privilege to invite Dr. Hemlata BR onto the dais for the felicitation. I would like to request the President of AOMSI, Dr. Manjunath Rai, and the General Secretary, Dr. Girish Rao, please escort Dr. Hemlata BR onto the dais for the Service of Mankind Award. Dr. Hemlata BR is a consultant maxillofacial surgeon and Chief Dental Officer at Bowring and Lady Curzon Hospital, Bangalore. Bowring was the authorized center for treating COVID patients and muco patients from the government of Karnataka. Dr. Hemlata led the team courageously to overcome so many challenges that they faced along with her team, Dr. Prithvi Palipur and Dr. Tejaswini. It was a sudden outburst. One day they informed her that from tomorrow we are admitting muco patients, and every day the load was exponentially increasing. The beds of the hospitals were full, and in spite of being at high risk, they worked with all protection. OT used to run with 3 specialties, the ENT surgeons, the maxillofacial surgeons, and the ophthalmologists. They used to operate cases one after the other, sometimes start around 8 o'clock in the morning and end up at 12 o'clock in the night. Once she entered the wards, patients used to plead her to just look at them, to a point where she didn't know who to look, who to choose, who goes to the next surgery, on what basis, on age, severity of the disease, and what's happening. There were 100 plus patients at one time, and the triage was so tough. 24 hours was not enough. The comorbidities that they had didn't make them fit for surgery as well. She took up the Herculean task of managing all this on her own. They literally used to go with all the protection as warriors and in turn help those helpless eyes that they could do. Post-operative management and feeding was a big challenge. And this hats off to her strength and willpower to face all these challenges with a smile on her face. With minimum resources that they had, they did remarkably well in successfully treating these patients. She was instrumental in getting vaccination done and coaxing the attenders of the patient to get vaccinated. One incident that she vividly recollects is when a patient who had an oral Ryle's tube placed post bilateral maxillectomy, when they gave the feeding plate, he was asked and he just gulped down the liquid. So, because he had not eaten for days, she actually had tears in her eyes. When I asked her, what's one thing that kept you going? She said, when patients came back to me and told that, I'm feeling better, I'm going home now, that is the best thing that kept me going. We salute you, ma'am, for always inspiring us with your work. Congratulations.
strong-willed, compassionate, and service-oriented surgeons are just representative, a tip of the iceberg, and a mirror of all the maxillofacial surgeons across the length and breadth of our beautiful country who have selflessly worked and served the humankind in the need of the hour. We salute each and every maxillofacial surgeon, ENT surgeon, ophthalmologists, neurosurgeons, physicians, prosthodontists, and all the millions of healthcare workers who have worked tirelessly to see the light of the day. We are now gearing up to tackle the next challenge, and we are all together in this.
Before the presidential address, I would also like to recognize the presence of very senior consultant ENT surgeon, Dr. Natesh. Thank you, Dr. Natesh, for being with us here. In fact, his son, Pramukh, is also a maxillofacial surgeon. Dr. Lalita, RM Lalita, again, a very senior professor of maxillofacial surgery. My dear friend, Dr. David Taro, past president of Maxillofacial Surgery Association. We have very distinguished speakers for today's CME program. For all there, Dr. Prithvi Balapur is one of the first speakers. Dr. Deepak Haldipur is going to be the next speaker. Dr. Nagaraj is going to follow on the ophthalmology considerations. Dr. Anand Krishna, the ENT surgeon, the prosthodontist, who is going to follow that. And then we have Dr. Sankalp Mittal, Dr. Satyajit Dandagi, and Dr. Nehal Patel, who are going to really share their knowledge and talk to us as to how we can come up with different protocols, which we believe is something which, as a nationwide, we are going to take the reconstruction and rehabilitation of mucormycosis to the next level. If you ask me who are the pillars for our association, two names stand out. And I've seen this association, which I've been associated with for the last 30 years. Relentlessly working is our immediate past Honorary General Secretary, Dr. Preetham Shetty. Preetham, a dear friend of mine, put his heart and soul in the last 4 years and took our specialty into another dimension itself. And before that, we had our own president now, Dr. Manjunath Rai, who was 2 terms Honorary General Secretary. And I've seen in the last 10 years, the way in which our specialty has completely transformed. To me, to stand in that shoe is such an honor. These guys have really, really pushed the boundaries to take our specialty, and I hope that I can live up to their contribution to our specialty. Dr. Manjunath Rai is a professor and head of maxillofacial surgery at Mangalore. Currently, he is the president of our association. Under his leadership, I'm sure our association is going to take a new turn. We are going to really, really bring in a lot of interdisciplinary approach. And that's where this very first event is, wherein we are having different specialties coming together. We collaborate and we grow. May I request Dr. Manjunath Rai to kindly come over and give the presidential address. Thank you, Manju.
Good afternoon, everyone. So let me wish you all a very happy International Oral and Maxillofacial Surgeons Day. For all the people who are here, and also a lot of people who are watching online. So this, for the first time, we are doing this as a hybrid. And the last 10 years, this is the first time it's happening on a Sunday. So for everyone who are watching, once again, happy Maxillofacial Surgeons Day. Dignitaries on the dais, off the dais, and postgraduates, undergraduate students. And I'm very happy to see luminaries from various subspecialties like ENT, ophthalmology. We have from Prosthodontic Society, tie up with so many of these. For this particular program, I should,
congratulate Dr. Girish for organizing, it didn't start here. It started in today morning at 7:30. We had a walkathon near Lal Bagh. So, and today is going to be a long day to go because we have also program in the evening. So anyway, let me first of all congratulate Girish Rao and so many people who helped him to organize this particular program. So you have put many of from the different backgrounds. We have madam, we have a philanthropist, and from different backgrounds, you have put them all together. Though when we started, I'm very happy to have Dr. Neelam Andrade here. In 2012, when we started, I don't think, ma'am, we have thought about this is going to grow so big. So it was all decided to have a one day for maxillofacial surgeons for us to celebrate ourselves kind of a thing. But now it's gone beyond. As Girish Rao said, Make in India 2015, it became International Maxillofacial Surgeons Day. And I'm very happy to say today at evening, we have a complete online program today. International President is coming live. International Vice President is our own Dr. Sanjeev Nair. We have two stalwarts, both are from India, but one is from US, one is in US and one is in UK. So they are giving their version. And evenings, the theme of that particular thing is safety in surgical practice. Now, this particular theme, we are going to this is going to be a curtain riser in today's evening. Safety in surgical practice, in the sense, we not only what we do during the surgery, we need to safeguard ourselves also. So it in terms of whether it's whether you have regarding your consent, regarding your indemnity policy, we need to safeguard before surgery, after surgery. And I'm happy to say that we have started this year. AMSI is something which is going in a real a lot of other specialty people are actually looking at AMSI. And since you have a lot of other specialty people are here, I'm very happy to say presently we have more than 7,500 life members in our association. And we have 22 state chapters and one from the defense. And we also have something which is phenomenal for our specialty is a fellowship. AMSI started a fellowship program 5 years back. We have presently 30 fellowship centers. There is in maxillofacial trauma, on head and neck oncology, as well as on orthognathic surgery. These three branches, we have around 30 fellowship centers. So this is something which is phenomenally, and everybody's been paid 25,000 stipend. And the process of how selection process is such a, so nicely it's happening, and it is, I'm very happy to say it's running so well. Dr. Nagesh sir said something about documentation. Sir, I'm very happy to inform you that what we wanted to start national registry few years back, which didn't take up then. Now we are starting it now once again. We are launching it again once again. That Dr. Deepesh and his team is very actively on this. We sent a mail, around 40 centers already sent their to start with the pilot study for a few months. They're going to put all those cases into the national registry. We wanted to start early. Somehow it didn't go through, but again, now we are restarting again. And so many centers have come forward to, on themselves that they're going to put records on monthly basis, and future it's going to be on a daily basis. When I read the mail, in fact, the international president is from Mexico, and today evening it will be for him, it will be 4:30 in the morning. When you invited him to send a recorded message for this today's program, I read the mail and I was so overwhelmed. He said, I will come live. He said, I'm so much we need to learn from, the AOMSI, and there are so many stalwarts who has done so much of a work, and they're all in various parts of the world, and they've become a consultants, and they're imparting their skills to the others. So when he read the mail that AMSI has so much pride in people from outside, I really felt so much happy. So it's a recognition for us, and for all the juniors to come, or for the future people to come, we need to take it further. And as Dr. Girish Rao mentioned about the, whenever anything happens or AMSI has, somehow comes up with with something positive. When the COVID stuck and when all the physical program got cancelled, there was no state chapter conferences and no national conferences for 2 years. AMSI started with webinars and, so many webinars and so many programs they did. And they, even when it came to the mucor, it was not that, we were also very familiar with this particular thing. And they conducted, there are high volume units. They started conducting how you should treat them through, so teaching and, teaching to the others, they've done a fantastic job. And also when it came to the, shortage of amphotericin, so again, AMSI came forward, Preetham and Veerabahu and their team entirely, they came up with, from UK, they imported it and then handed over to the Karnataka government and also to the various units. So these are the lot of things what's been done. And is it enough? Yeah, we need to go way forward. Because of stalwarts like, I'm very happy to sit on the stage dais with sharing with the stalwarts like Dr. Paul Salians, Dr. Nagesh, and so many of us. I mean, so many here, and I have my few students are also. So it's because of them, the specialty has grown. It is not just, from oral surgery, it's oral maxillofacial, and it's become a craniofacial. And it's become so vast. And now even the TMJ arthroscopy has started developing. So there are so many avenues, and so many the growth, in which it's growing. It's also for the juniors to, make whatever your teachers, whatever your seniors put a path, but, to take it further. There is so much you could learn. There is so much you could, as Dr. Paul Salan said, even subspecialty, you can just become a cleft surgeon. You could just become a TMJ surgeon. You could become only a trauma surgeon. There is no dearth for you to learn. If all the other postgraduate specialty, MDS is their masters, but I always tell my students, for us, MDS is the starting point. Because it shows you a lot of path. You can decide where you could go. So wishing you all once again, this is for you all to celebrate. And one more thing I want to tell you is, other than this 5 to 8 program, okay, other than the 2 lecture programs, we also have for people like Dr. Paul, that we have various talents. So many, we can call it as either beyond max facts or the talents from our members. We had asked for it to send a short video. We have received around 75 videos, sir. And the highest was from the delegates, around 50 from delegates and more than around 25 from the postgraduates. And today they have selected it, they have categorized it, and today from 7 to 8, you could see the various people performing, not just surgery, their talents. And one more thing, what is between 6 to 7 is the, we have, this time we made the interstate video competition. As you all know that, we have various subspecialty in our maxillofacial surgery. We have made it into 10 different categories: minor oral surgery, implants, TMJ, and 10 subcategories. And the individual state chapters took a chit, and then from the last around 15-20 days, everybody has submitted except the 2 state chapters couldn't submit on time. So we have, and it's been sent to the judges, and one judge from the from outside abroad, and one plastic surgeon and things like that. So even that has been done very professionally, and we'll be playing that between 6 to 7. And I invite you, all of you, to log in at 5 o'clock and 8 o'clock. And we also have one more very interesting program from Kerala State Chapter. One of the programs, when I spoke to them regarding, and I think we all should, it's high time we also should follow that. There's something like, this emergency team kind of thing. Every city, the concept is from AMC, ma'am, from the Association of Medical Consultants. It's like any incident happens, anybody can have some kind of an emergency in their workplace, in a hospital, bad, either you lose a patient or some patient party making an issue or some press people coming and kind of a thing. So, I mean, it's a very difficult time for anyone, first of all. So now, how do we help each other? So I'd given the suggestion to the Kerala startup, and they are launching it today with rapid action team kind of a thing. Now, suppose they have to sign up for that. Anybody, suppose you sign up in anything, incidents happens in any small hospital, their setup, their hospital, these people are going to respond to them. They're going to come and stand with them in whatever, because that is the time you need somebody most. It either to protect you or, if at all you need to reply to the media or to the, police station or anyone. This is something which is required. I request all the other state chapters to, this is something we all should, Dr. Girish, we need to do this, as a team, so that, we stand each other. We talk about multidisciplinary approach, but, we as a maxillofacial surgeon also should join together, protect ourselves. Let's not talk, anything. This is something called as a medical jostling. So you talk light about some other, we should never do that. We all should support each other, stand together. So I request even other state chapters also to follow this. And yeah, once again, and congratulations to the achievers. Today you got felicitated. It's you all deserve it. You all deserve it. Once again, hats off to you all for all the work, heavy work what you have done. And yeah, with that, once again, happy International Oral and Maxillofacial Surgeons Day. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Gratitude is a sign of noble sense. We now have Dr. Utkarsha Lokesh, our Joint Secretary, to deliver the vote of thanks.
I'll say good morning only because I was prepared to say good morning in my vote of thanks. We have run short. We are running a little late, but it's worth it. We had so much of words of wisdom from all the dignitaries on the stage. Thank you, one and all. As Chesterton, a great British philosopher, once said, no duty is more urgent than giving thanks. I would maintain that thanks are the highest form of thought, and the gratitude is happiness, double of wonder. So ideally, my speech should be the longest, but I'm cutting short because so many people to thank. Let's finish it. I deem it as a great honor to first and foremost thank Dr. Sudhakar, our Honorable Minister, and Health and Family Welfare and Medical Education, Government of Karnataka. Shri Tejasvi Surya, Member of Parliament, Bangalore South. Unfortunately, both of them are not here because of the upcoming elections in few states, as well as a budgetary session which is starting from tomorrow. They have sent us special message and wishing all a very happy Maxillofacial Surgeons Day. So I thank Dr. M.K. Ramesh, Vice Chancellor of Rajiv Gandhi University, who took over recently, Dr. Jaikara S.M., former Vice Chancellor, Dr. Ramakrishna Reddy, the Registrar of Rajiv Gandhi University, and all the Rajiv Gandhi University officers for helping us conduct a very smooth program. I thank the guest of honors today. First of all, from Dr. Deepak Aldipur, who's become very handsome with a new look. I've seen him, he's my neighbor, 2 roads behind his place. So thank you very much, sir, for being a part. And Dr. Paul, our greatest motivator, inspirer. Sir, thank you so much for being a part of the event. Dr. Manjunath Rai, again, our dynamic president, who's been motivating us from time and again to come up with such good events. Thank you, sir. And my mentor, my teacher, my principal, first college, RV Dental College. And for all suggestions, we go to him. Thank you, Nagesh, sir. Thank you. Mrs. Revati Kamath, I had a brief chat with her. and I was thoroughly inspired and blown away by her absolute philanthropic work and environmental friendly thoughts. Thank you, ma'am, for being a part of the show. And I thank Dr. Nagraj so much, and he has been a silent spectator on the stage. Thank you so much, sir, for being a part of the event. And I thank all the members of AOMSI, executive committee members of AOMSI, all the state reps for having supported us from the word go. I acknowledge Ms. Lakshmi, Rebecca and team from Red Bangle for helping us in the production of the video, which has come out very nicely. I wholeheartedly express my deepest gratitude to our sponsors, without whom this program would not have been that successful. CTARS, their Center for Technology Assisted Reconstructive Surgery, Lucid, patient-specific implant solution from Nagpur. These are our two principal sponsors. Along with them, I thank SK Surgicals for providing us the blue t-shirts in the morning, and Med Pharma, a Chennai-based pharmaceutical company, AK Surgicals and Navdurga Surgicals for giving us lunch. Dr. Aditya Murthy, who sponsored our breakfast post-walk. And our own Dr. Ravi Abeli, who's a go-to man whenever we have, and he has fine-tuned the whole program very nicely. We are extremely grateful to our well-wishers, Indian Dental Association National, headed by Dr. Ashok Doble, and he has spread this message far and wide, trying to popularize the work that we do. And Dr. Srinidhi is here, President of Indian Dental Association, Karnataka State Branch, the Indian Dental Association, Bangalore Branch, Indian Medical Association has come forward and helped us and encouraged us. Of course, Association of ENT and Otolaryngology, Plastic Surgery Association, Neurosurgery Association, Ophthalmology Association for supporting us wholeheartedly. I thank them all. And I thank today's speakers, Dr. Deepak, then Dr. Nagraj, Dr. Anand, Dr. Nehal, Dr. Satyajit Dandgi, Dr. Sankalp, and Dr. Prithvi for having made us not to miss the college even on a Sunday, for having made us listen to their lectures. Thank you so much. As a testimony to the phrase, it's a small world, a big shout out to the technical team, Skyline and even Logistics, for helping us to stream this wonderful event worldwide, live. I thank caterers, Pakashala for providing lunch, the police department for a smooth conduct of the walkathon. I express deepest gratitude to Bowring Hospital team headed by Dr. Manoj, and for giving us permission to shoot the video as well as operate maximum number of cases. Thank you, Times of India, the Hindu and Deccan Herald. Times of India is here for being our official press partners. Thank you very much. Finally, this event would not have been possible without the unconditional support of all the principals, head of department, PG students, and interns of all the dental colleges. I thank you one and all. And a special mention to Mrs. Sujata, Dr. Girish Rao's wife, who has helped us, given us a lot of inputs, and she stood and decorated the whole auditorium. Thank you, ma'am. And of course, tireless, last but not the least, Dr. Girish Rao, who's known for his inclusive growth. He carries everybody along with him wherever he goes. Thank you, sir. With these few words, we will clear the stage